Have you ever spoken with honesty, acted with integrity, and yet been ignored, dismissed, or even disrespected? That is the harsh truth about this world. It does not reward truth. It rewards power. And power belongs to those who understand the darker rules of influence. This is Psyvoria, where we strip away illusions and expose the brutal strategies that shape control, desire, and dominance. In this video, you will learn 3 Machiavellian strategies to influence anyone, strategies that cut deeper than kindness, louder than truth, and stronger than logic. If you are ready to step out of weakness and step into power, make sure you subscribe to Psyvoria now. Join us because here we do not beg for influence, we take it. Strategy 1. Control perception before truth. The first and most brutal law of influence is this: there is no power in truth unless it is believed, and no truth is ever believed unless you first control perception. This is the foundation Machiavelli built his philosophy upon, and it is the reason honest men with pure intentions often die forgotten while the cunning rise to power. You think that honesty alone should be enough, that if you speak clearly and show your sincerity, people will follow. But people do not follow truth, they follow appearance. They do not obey the one who is wise. They obey the one who seems wise. They do not rally around the one who is just. They rally around the one who looks strong. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. That single sentence explains centuries of power, because it is not the truth of your character that matters, but the mask you wear, the performance you project, the aura you emit the second you walk into a room. Walk in with hesitation and your words carry no weight. Walk in with calm silence, deliberate movement, unshakable presence, and suddenly even lies will sound like wisdom. Nothing about your truth changes, only perception does. Kings wore crowns of tin polish to look like gold and still commanded armies. Fools spoke loudly with certainty and were mistaken for prophets. Because the world is blind, it does not have time to inspect your essence. It judges you in seconds, and those seconds decide everything. This is why the strategist learns to master image before argument, presence before truth, because people do not process your logic. They react to your energy. If you appear certain, if you radiate inevitability, they will believe you without question. If you appear weak or doubtful, they will dismiss you even if you are right. This is not lying. This is discipline. It is control of the self and mastery over the impression you leave. The weak man complains that people judge him unfairly. The strong man studies that judgment and weaponizes it. He understands that silence can be louder than words, that body language can replace speeches, that confidence can carry ideas further than facts ever will. Perception is the soil in which your truth must grow, and in the wrong soil, even the most perfect truth withers. In the right soil, even fragile illusions thrive. So if you want to influence anyone, you must learn to dominate perception. To ask yourself with every step into a room, what story am I silently telling? Do I radiate strength, or do I beg for approval? Do I present inevitability or uncertainty? Because in this world, influence is not about being right. It is about being believed. And the moment you master perception, you will no longer need to chase power. Power will chase you. Strategy 2. Exploit desires, not logic. The second strategy is understanding that people are not ruled by logic. They are ruled by desire. And if you ever want to influence anyone at the deepest level, you must stop speaking to their reason and start speaking to their hunger. This is what Machiavelli understood so clearly. Men may admire your arguments, but they only move when their secret cravings are touched. Look around you. Every single person is driven by an appetite they rarely confess. Some crave recognition, some crave power, some crave love, some crave safety, some crave superiority over others. And though they mask it behind noble words or rational explanations, these cravings guide their every choice. If you speak to logic, you will always be competing with others. But if you speak to desire, you bypass reason and take control of the strings that move their soul. Machiavelli wrote that men are driven either by love or by fear. And what he meant was that people are governed by longing, by emotion, by the need to feel. Significant, valued, protected, admired, or envied. And once you identify that need, you own them without chains. The mistake most men make is believing that if they explain themselves clearly, others will understand. But logic does not inspire loyalty. Only desire does. Logic wins debates. Desire wins obedience. So your task is to see what they truly want even when they do not say it. The woman who shouts about independence may secretly crave protection. The man who brags about his strength may secretly crave admiration. The one who criticizes others' success may secretly crave success of his own. See through the mask and offer the hidden cure. When you make someone feel the way they want to feel, they will defend you. They will follow you. They will even fight for you. Not because your facts are flawless, but because you gave them a taste of the dream they secretly starve for. This is why storytellers rule and why strategists triumph. Because they do not sell logic, they sell visions of desire. They sell hope. They sell escape from pain. Machiavelli knew that rulers do not hold power because they are correct, but because they embody the fantasies of the people. When you influence, do not try to impress with intellect. Instead, give people the feeling they are smarter in your presence. Give them the sensation of importance. Give them the taste of security, and they will attach themselves to you without even knowing why. Because desire is always stronger than reason, logic can be dismissed, but desire lingers, desire burns, desire commands. So if you want to influence anyone, learn to stop being right and start being irresistible. Learn to stop offering information and start offering transformation. Learn to speak not to the ears, but to the longing that hides behind the eyes. Once you do that, you will find that power comes not from arguing harder, but from understanding deeper. And once you master desire, logic itself will serve you. Strategy 3. Always offer the illusion of choice. The third strategy is to always offer the illusion of choice because the strongest form of influence is not the one that commands openly, but the one that directs invisibly. Machiavelli understood that men will resist orders, but they will defend their own decisions, even when those decisions were carefully designed for them in advance. This is the art of silent power. You do not shout, you do not push, you do not demand. Instead, you create the frame, you shape the environment, you structure the options so that whichever door they walk through leads them exactly where you want them. They believe they are free, they believe they are leading themselves, but in truth, you are the architect. You're the one holding the map while they proudly carry the illusion of autonomy. This is how real control survives. Imagine you are speaking with someone who resists you. The unskilled man will argue louder and push harder. The strategist will step back and present two paths, both of which serve his interest, and the person, thinking they have chosen freely, will defend that choice as their own. They will justify it, rationalize it, even argue for it in front of others, never realizing they have walked straight into your design. This principle is universal. It works in politics, where rulers create systems that make loyalty appear like a free decision. It works in relationships, where subtle framing creates dynamics that feel natural but are in fact directed. It works in business, where leaders never command but instead present options that guide people toward the very outcome they had planned. People will fight orders because their ego resists subjugation, but when the same outcome feels like their own choice, they cling to it, they defend it, and they protect it as if it were their idea. This is the brilliance of hidden influence. To guide without appearing to guide, to dominate without appearing to dominate, to create the walls of a cage so wide and so invisible that the bird inside never even notices it cannot fly beyond them. Machiavelli knew that open cruelty provokes rebellion, but invisible design creates loyalty. When people think they are free, they never rebel. When they think they are authors of their own fate, they never question the hand that placed the pen in their palm. So if you want to influence anyone, stop trying to force their will and start designing their environment. Start curating their options. Start mastering the subtle art of letting them feel in control while all along they're moving exactly as you intended. This is the silent power of the fox, the cunning influence that outlasts the lion's roar. This is the essence of strategy, to make others carry your will as their own, and to do it so well that even if one day they realize it, They cannot help but admire the brilliance of the game you played. And now you see the blueprint, perception, desire, and the illusion of choice, three Machiavellian weapons that cut deeper than truth, louder than logic, and more lasting than brute force. The world does not reward honesty. It rewards those who control how honesty is dressed. It does not follow reason. It follows hunger, and it never obeys command. It obeys the choices it believes it made. If you master these three, you will stop being dismissed. You will stop being invisible. You will stop begging for recognition and start bending reality in your favor. This is not about cruelty. It is not about deception for its own sake. It is about survival. In a world full of noise and blindness, those who know how to shape perception, fuel desire, and orchestrate choice are the ones who rise, the ones who become untouchable. While others shout and argue, you will move in silence and still be followed. While others beg to be heard, you will whisper and still command loyalty. This is what Psyvoria was built for, to give you the darker truths most will never dare speak. And if you want more, if you're ready to sharpen your mind with the strategies of history's most cunning thinkers, then subscribe to Psyvoria now. Comment below which of these three strategies you will use first, and share this video with someone who needs to wake up from the illusion of honesty without power. Because influence is never given, it is taken. And from this moment forward, you are no longer a beggar. You are a strategist.